Hello friends, I have a seed starting update and a couple of up pottings to do, so I just wanted to share it with you. So let's get to it. First of all, my onions and leeks are looking amazing. Look at that little jungle. They look incredible. I do have to say that the New York early onions are coming in much thicker and they just seem altogether stronger. But I do have some up potting to do. The roots are going seriously strong, so I definitely need to up pot these. My garden bed is not ready yet to put them in, so I will up pot all of the leeks and the onions. Well, the onions that are in these trays right here, this is actually just the top, the humidity dome of my seedling trays. I just tipped it upside down and used it as a planter. These are doing fine. I'm not going to up pot these. I will up pot these leeks because they've grown out of the little seed starting pots. So I've got a lot of leeks to up pot. I also had some luck with the chives, but as you can see, the garlic chives, that was 10-year-old seed. So I wasn't expecting anything from that, and clearly I didn't get anything, which is fine, but I probably should separate these little clumps and put them in small pots. I do have a fan that I've been turning on for a couple hours in the evenings just to strengthen all of the stems of the onions and leeks. So hopefully that will help. It also did help reduce some of the surface mold that I noticed growing. So some of the other pots got the surface mold just the same as where the garlic chives did. So this white stuff. So plus these need a little bit more nourishment. They've been in there for quite some time, and I noticed the other day some of the tips were turning a little yellow. So I've got some potting mix. Yeah, see, you can see this one right there. So I have some potting mix that I'm going to use to put these in a little bit larger containers so that they can have a little bit more nourishment. And then just to update, I started my tomatoes. Those are almost all tomatoes. There's some eggplants in there, but there's 29 varieties of tomatoes. And they are cute little seedlings, and they're doing well. I just planted these, I just started these not 3 days ago. So I had really good germination for the tomatoes. Some I planted them on the 23rd, and some of them were already germinating on the 26th. Happy little tomatoes! Isn't that exciting? So exciting. I love to look at them this way. Aren't they great? So exciting. Okay guys, I'm out in the garage with the leeks and my potting soil and the cups. These are just red Solo cups that I burned little holes in the bottom. So I'm going to see how many I can get transplanted to these big Solo cups before dinner time. So let's get to it. In that one. Whoa. Okay, here's the first 18. I'm going to take these down and put them underneath the lights. Second flat is done, and I have 29 left to go. This is tray number 3, and I've got 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 more to go. Something interesting to note is the leeks that I had that were in the actual container that these little peat pots are sold with. They have this tiny little groove that the circular peat pot fits right into. And I'm noticing that the roots for these are still just as big, but they're kind of like wrapped around themselves almost circular, so they're not tangled up like the other ones that I had in here. That's just a flat bottom, and I had all the sides touching each other, so they weren't, you know, that 1/4 inch apart, and they didn't have the little base to sit in. So apparently the base might help keep the roots from getting tangled a little bit. I'm not sure if that's true or it's just an observation in this case, but something interesting to note. Okay friends, the job is done. I am absolutely filthy, but I got all of them potted up. I used solo cups last year for some potting, and what I liked about them is they're so deep, plants can kind of stay there for the entire growing season until they can go outside, or the entire starting season until they can go outside, which is great. What I don't like is that it's really hard to find a container for them to fit in without them wobbling and falling over. So it has to have high sides, and you have to be able to water it, so it has to be waterproof. The one thing that I found that worked really, really well are these trays from the dollar store. They are really high-sided, so the cups don't, even though they wobble around, they don't tip over. With all the other trays that I just took downstairs and loaded up and took downstairs, every single one of them I almost filled. So I will be making a trip to the dollar store and buying more of these little plastic baskets. I'll probably go through my storage and see if I can come up with any more that aren't being used, but if not, I'll head on down to the dollar store. So hopefully that tip helps you too, and thank you so much for joining me, friends. I hope you guys are having a wonderful seed starting season as well. Bye bye for now.